35 years ago today, George Harrison was on the Today Show, and during his interview by Rona Elliott, he makes a comment that makes me wonder if Elton John might have been a Wilbury, or the person that sparked the idea. You'll have to watch the interview to hear what I'm talking about. But ponder Elton John as a traveling Wilbury. I think it would have worked.
Music times may change very quickly, but the good ones just seem to find a way of sticking around. Today, music correspondent Rona Elliott is joining us this morning to begin a two-part conversation with one of the best. He is George Harrison.
Thanks, Maria. George Harrison's last solo album, Gone Troppo, didn't fare too well, but his new Warner Brothers album, Cloud 9, and its first single, Got My Mind Set on You, will quickly remind fans of the talent Harrison demonstrated in the past. This record is real rock and roll with some nostalgia thrown in, but the best part for me is that Harrison is back where he belongs, making music.
Write and produce, and so I thought if I was to do an album, I'm going to have a producer, so I had to think about who could produce me. And then I thought of Jeff Lynne, who's this ELO, remember? He used to be the Electric Light Orchestra. So we met and got on good, and after about a year and a half, I said, well, I'm going to do an album now, you know, do you want to help me? And sort of got him involved.
How do you feel about putting a new entry out into the marketplace at this point?
Putting it out into the marketplace is always strange for me because I've never really been that competitive, you know? I mean, you won't find me on your 16-minute videos dancing about shaking my fist. You know, I just can't do that kind of thing. But
it sounds to me, in listening to the record, that you're dealing with some of your old favorite dilemmas, which was the spiritual versus the material world again.
There may be a bit of that. I think it's more of a rock record, really. There's a lot of rock and roll on it. And I decided to write a sort of nostalgic tune. And I don't know if you heard that one. It's called When We Was Fab. And so that's got Ringo, and it's got all those reminiscent sounds from the 60s.
It's very emotional to listen to, and it was the first time I can recall any one of the Beatles ever both poking fun at, looking at with some nostalgia, and being kind of willing to look at the whole thing.
You know, this thing sort of got put on us like fab and gear. Maybe we used to say it, you know. I think as kids in Liverpool, it was an expression, you know, fab. And it sort of stuck with the fab. We became the Fab Four. And it was always like a cute word, you know, like a silly word. And I use it in that context, but lovingly, like when we was fab. But it was not really just about the Beatles. I think the whole period, everybody was fab in those days, you know.
During last June's Prince's Trust in England, you wrapped up the show with some of your friends, and I noticed when you came out, you
know how to deal with my nerves. I felt like I was waiting to go to the electric chair.
As was evident at the Prince's Trust a couple of months ago, it seems that among those people, Eric Clapton and Ringo and Elton John, that there's a real support system and a friendship that's there. Yeah. It's apparent on stage. Is that what it's really like in life? I mean,
really nice.
You hang together.
Yeah, I think the older we all get, the nicer we become, or they become, I'm sure, or maybe I've got nicer too, I don't know. But they're really good. I mean, they've all been through so much. I think their egos have all been satisfied or knocked down or up and down to such an extent that they sort of value friendship. They're good guy. Elton apparently is forming a band for over 40-year-olds, which I'm told I'm going to be in.
How do you feel about that, being an aging baby boomer rock star?
I don't know, I just, I think being over 40 makes me realize that people who are like 60 or 70 or 80, they probably still think they're teenagers too. You know, there's a part of me that's just the same, really, as it ever was, but the body just starts falling apart. Saw this great new skin cream, you know, that does the DNA and rebuilds your face. So they advertise on TV, so I'll get some of that for Elton and Eric and Ringo.
Tomorrow, Harrison talks about the continuing controversy surrounding the Nike commercial that uses the Beatles song, Revolution. Maria.
It was really refreshing, Rona, to hear that George Harrison...
Thank you for watching Cleveland Live Music. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. There's further patronage information in the video descriptions below. Thanks for all the support and making the channel grow.